Hi guys, welcome to the Howler, and today I'm going to teach you how to edit force lightning in Photoshop. Okay guys, so let's get straight into it. So first thing you need to do is you need to open up your image in Photoshop. This will work for any kind of Photoshop. I use Elements 11, but whatever program you've got will work. I've just got one of the Emperor and Kylo Ren Lego minifigures from Star Wars, and I've just set them up in the pose that I want them to be in. So the first step that you need to do is you need to create a new layer which is on top of your image, and then turn the visibility on your image off so you just see the blank layer. You need to then go to your gradient tool, and you need to make sure that your gradient settings are set to their default mode and to the normal mode, and make sure that it's on linear. You then need to drag the line of your gradient from the top left down to the bottom right so that you get a nice black to grey to white movement on the colours. If it's too strong or too weak, then you may need to make the line shorter. What you then need to do is go to filter, go to the render section and choose difference clouds, and it will give you this kind of effect, and you can already see the kind of the lines in there which we're going to use and adapt to make our lighting effect. What you then need to do is press Ctrl I on your keyboard, and that will invert the colours. Alright, so that it then makes those lines nice and white. You then need to go and adjust your levels, okay, and what you want to do is you want to pull that left hand dial, you want to pull that all the way down until it's almost all the way to the right hand dial. Don't go all the way, if not you start to get some funny discolorization, but most of the way down so that you black out most of it apart from those white lines, and then apply that effect. So then what you'll see is you've then got that those lines there ready to use. Okay, what you then need to do is you need to tidy it up a little bit. So you're going to go to your brush settings and you're going to change it to black, okay, and adjust the size accordingly. And then what you need to do is you just need to paint over and brush over all of the white areas that you don't need. So it depends how much lightning you're going for, but obviously in real life you wouldn't get these kind of they're also like continents on a map. You wouldn't get that kind of look in real life. You'd usually have sort of 1, 2 or 3 lines that sort of create that fork effect. So what you need to do is you just need to brush out any areas that you don't want. Mine is very scrappy, so you'd take a bit more time on this than what I have, just to make sure that it's nice and neat and tidy. But you just want to trim up those areas and make them, you know, as neat as they can be, make it look more like an authentic bolt of lightning. Okay, so then what you need to do is you then need to go to the visibility on your bottom layer, make it visible again, and then change the blend mode to screen. What this will do is it will blend the two layers together so that you've then got your lightning effect appearing over top of your image. Okay, what it basically does, it replaces the black areas of the lightning layer with the image below it, but it will leave the white area. Then what you want to do is you want to go to image and you want to transform it. You want to go to free transform. What this is going to allow you to do is to adjust the size and the position of that lightning, and you can rotate it. You can make it bigger or smaller so you can match it with the image that you've got. Okay, so for mine, obviously I've needed to do some adjustments so I can make it look like it's coming out of the hands of the Emperor. So you just need to just play around with it a little bit and see what fits your image. Okay, but yeah, again, I've done this quite quickly, but you want to spend quite a lot of time making sure that you get the correct position and size so that it doesn't look too much like an effect, and more like it could actually be part of the image. What you next need to do is you then need to select Skew. So if you right click on the image and then click Skew, what this allows you to do is again sort of transform the image, and it allows you to manipulate those lightning bolts, so you can sort of pull them in different directions, and it adjusts the shape of the lines, so it gives it a bit of difference. Then when you put the if you put more than one of those on there, if you're going to copy and paste it like this, so you duplicate the layer, what you can then do is then move the second layer so that you can get an extra bolt of lightning, but by skewing it, by going to image, transform and skew, you can make those adjustments to make it look slightly different to the first set of lightning bolts that you put on there, because you don't want it to look exactly the same. If not, it's just going to look like you've copied and pasted it. If you've got more time on your hands, the more professional and better thing to do would be to just repeat the process that we've got up to from now, and so you get a completely different set of lines. But for the sake of this video, I've just copied and pasted the lines that we already had. Okay. So once you're happy with their position, you need to go to Enhance and adjust the color, and you need to go to Adjust Hue / Saturation and tick the Colorize box. Now what this allows you to do is to move the hue scale so that you can get to a point where you give it a slight blue tinge, and then the more you turn up the saturation, the more powerful that colouring is going to be. What you don't want to do is put the lightness up, because that will start to colorize the black and you'll get a kind of a funny cloud. So you want to make sure that you put the colorize on, pick a colour on the hue. Obviously for this particular example I'm using blue, because in the old style films that was kind of what the colouring was. And then you want to move the saturation up so that colour comes through in the lines, but then you want to make sure that the lightness isn't brought up, or you'll get that horrible sort of cloud. In fact, you might want to bring it down a little bit to avoid that from being visible at all. What you then need to do is you then need to flatten the image, so all of your layers are then flattened back into one layer, and then you can go to Enhance, and then you can go to adjust your lighting and your levels, and then what I would then do is I'd then tailor the image to my liking. For this one I've sort of brought the blacks down, increased mid-tone contrast, and brought the whites out a bit as well, so you get almost like a spotlight effect on the subject that's being electrocuted, if you like, and you get that real dark sense about the Emperor. And so there you have it, guys. That is how to edit Force Lightning on Photoshop. If you liked the video, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If there's any other effects that anybody would like to see a tutorial on how to do, then give me a shout and I'll do my best to do them. I'm also going to have some more top tips for photographers coming up soon. If you haven't seen my previous one, 5 top tips for new photographers, then be sure to go and give it a watch and let me know what you think.